Caleb had only recently moved into his new apartment when he found that it had a regular visitor, a colorful parrot squawking away. Caleb had started to become rather fond of the creature as he saw the bird once a day and taught it some new words. Then, the words that the bird used seemed to click and Caleb visibly paled. He knew he had to take immediate action and called 911. They had been skeptical. How could a bird know something so concerning about a crime being committed? Caleb needed to prove to the police that something was actually happening. He started to record all the phrases the bird said, leaving nothing out. He was hoping the bird was simply mimicking what he had heard from television shows, but he would find that that was not the case. With the proof of the recordings, Caleb went to the police station, and when he arrived, they still tried to dismiss his concerns. Caleb feared that he needed to take matters into his own hands, but then a detective stepped forward, believing that Caleb was onto something. Maybe Caleb had given the man a break in his case. Detective Michaels and Caleb set out to find the truth, but it seemed like this was not as easy as the two would have liked it to be. Every answer just seemed to raise more questions. Who was the owner of the parrot? What did those cryptic messages mean? And most importantly, would they be able to crack the case? But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. It hadn't been long before that Caleb, an ex-Marine, had bought his new place in a quieter part of town. As a person still struggling with loud noise, it seemed to be his wisest course of action, especially with the view his new place gave him. The place seemed to be paradise. Caleb had no clue how that would be disturbed. It had been a few weeks since he moved, but his social skills regarding other people in the building seemed to be non-existent. That all seemed to change when he was lounging on his balcony, enjoying the sunset that was only an hour away. The golden hues were painting his face as a noise came from his right, and a bright red parrot landed on his railing. Not knowing whether the bird was wild or domesticated, he kept his distance from it. The creature ruffled its feathers, picking at them as it joined Caleb in enjoying the final rays of the sun. However, it wasn't necessarily enjoyable for Caleb, as he was confused about why the bird had perched there. He was beautiful, and he feared that someone had lost him. The bird squawked a few times before leaving Caleb again. The ex-Marine had thought it to be a one-time thing, but as the days progressed, he noticed how it had become a routine for the bird to come a few hours before sunset and leave after the day had been exchanged for the night. A week had passed after their first meeting, and that was when Caleb decided to embrace what was happening to him. He bought his feathery friend some food. That way, if they were hanging out on his balcony again, he would have some snacks for both of them. It would be that action that would solidify their bond. As that sun set, the bird again perched on his railing, and this time Caleb fed the bird. After some research, Caleb came to the conclusion that this bird was not wild, but probably either released or abandoned by its owners. His heart ached for the bird as he let it feed from his hand. "Who's a pretty bird?" he said, cooing at it. The bird cocked his head as it let out a screech. "Pretty bird, it mimicked. Caleb was stunned. He knew that parrots could talk, but during the past week, he hadn't heard something that even resembled a word. Over the following days, the routine the two shared became almost sacred to Caleb. Soon, the bird began to talk, using the few phrases and words that Caleb had taught him. It had been a warm evening where Caleb had been softly playing with his guitar. The bird would sometimes mimic the tones of his guitar, but tonight he seemed to be particularly talkative. Between the regular hellos and pretty bird chants, he began muttering a series of words that seemed disjointed at first. Caleb was just trying to understand it when goosebumps started to form. "No, no!" the parrot said, frantically flapping its wings. "Please don't!" He ruffled his feathers as the bird continued. "Shh! Someone will hear." Caleb felt his heart race, unsure what it meant. "What are you trying to tell me, pretty bird?" he murmured. "Shh! Someone will hear." The bird repeated. Caleb wanted to ask again, but they continued talking. "Please let me call home," it squawked. "No calling, no calling. No help coming, no help coming." Caleb's blood ran cold as realization struck him. This wasn't just the bird saying words. It was a replay of a past event. He knew he had to call the police. Determined to uncover the truth behind the parrot's cryptic messages, Caleb took action. He set up discreet surveillance cameras on his balcony, ensuring every move of his feathered companion would be captured. As days turned into weeks, Caleb noticed patterns emerging in the parrot's behavior. The bird seemed to repeat certain phrases at specific times, almost like a message on a loop. Amid Caleb's careful listening, the parrot introduced a new layer of mystery. It started mimicking knocking sounds, creating an eerie atmosphere in the room. Caleb's keen observation paid off as he began discerning a rhythmic pattern in the parrot's sounds. Drawing from his experience as an ex-Marine, Caleb's instincts kicked in. He realized that the parrot's rhythmic tapping was Morse code. With growing excitement and urgency, he deciphered the message the parrot had been sending: SOS. The realization hit him like a thunderbolt, and the gravity of the situation became palpable. Caleb's eyes widened as he grasped the truth. The parrot had been sending a distress signal all along, right from his own balcony. With unwavering resolve, he contacted the police, providing them with the recorded Morse code messages. He understood that the parrot held the key to a mystery he couldn't solve alone, and the authorities needed to be involved. As the dispatcher relayed the information to the authorities, initial skepticism prevailed among the officers. They couldn't fathom the idea of a parrot sending a Morse code distress signal. Nevertheless, a glimmer of curiosity sparked, prompting them to agree to investigate further. Among the skeptical officers, Detective Michaels stood out. His experienced eye recognized the potential significance of Caleb's discovery. Intrigued by the cryptic messages, he suspected a possible link to his own ongoing investigations. Caleb and Detective Michaels huddled together to plan their next move. They needed to track the parrot's movements and find out where it went after leaving Caleb's balcony. It was a crucial step toward unraveling the mystery that had taken hold of their lives. With determination in their hearts, they equipped the parrot with a tracking device. It was a pivotal moment as they prepared for a breakthrough in their investigation. The device would allow them to follow the parrot's path and, hopefully, discover the secrets hidden within its cryptic messages. Armed with the tracking device and a shared sense of purpose, Caleb and Detective Michaels set out to follow the parrot. They embarked on a journey filled with uncertainty, their every step guided by the hope of unraveling the enigma that had brought them together. With the tracking device in place, Caleb and Detective Michaels embarked on the pursuit of the parrot's elusive destination. The need to uncover the truth drove them forward, their footsteps echoing with a shared determination. Detective Michaels, recognizing Caleb's ex-Marine background and his unwavering dedication, extended an unexpected invitation. He asked Caleb to actively assist in the investigation, leveraging his skills and instincts to navigate the mystery. With the aid of advanced tracking technology, their search intensified. The device led them unerringly to the parrot's destination, and they moved swiftly, aware that they were inching closer to a potential breakthrough. As they neared the parrot's next stop, Detective Michaels, sensing the importance of the moment, made a critical decision. He called for backup, recognizing the significance of what lay ahead. Tensions ran high as they prepared to confront the unknown. Caleb and Detective Michaels arrived at the parrot's location, their senses heightened with anticipation. Ready to uncover the truth, they stood on the cusp of a tense moment that could potentially unravel the enigma they had been chasing. Caleb and Detective Michaels finally tracked the parrot to an abandoned house, intensifying their search for answers. The decrepit structure loomed ominously, shrouded in mystery, and they couldn't help but feel that they were on the verge of a revelation. With determination etched on their faces, Caleb and Detective Michaels entered the ominous house. They were driven by the need to find the source of the parrot's alarming messages. Every creaking floorboard echoed with suspense as they ventured further into the darkness. Their search inside the abandoned house yielded frustrating results. There were no signs of life, leaving them both puzzled and bewildered. The enigma seemed to deepen, and they couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing a crucial piece of the puzzle. Just when their frustration peaked, the parrot uttered a chilling phrase. It hinted at danger, prompting Caleb and Detective Michaels to investigate further. Their hearts pounded with trepidation as they realized that the parrot held the key to a more sinister truth. With unwavering determination, Caleb and Detective Michaels broke open a concealed staircase in the abandoned house. Their shock was palpable as they discovered the abducted lady, held captive by her ex-boyfriend. The parrot's mimicry of her voice had led them to this shocking revelation, and they knew that they had rescued her from a horrifying ordeal. Following the parrot's eerie words, they descended into an underground hiding place, revealing the abducted lady's terrifying ordeal. Her desperate plea for help echoed in the dimly lit chamber, solidifying their commitment to rescue her from this nightmarish situation. The police swiftly arrested the woman's ex-boyfriend, finally bringing an end to her traumatic ordeal. Justice prevailed as the culprit was unveiled, ensuring that he faced the consequences of his heinous actions. With the police's unwavering assistance, the lady was rescued from her harrowing confinement. Caleb and the parrot played instrumental roles in her release, bringing her back to the world she had been forcibly separated from. Caleb and the lady decided that the parrot deserved a permanent place in Caleb's home. Their bond with the bird had grown strong, and they couldn't bear to part with the faithful companion who had led them to this remarkable reunion. A bond, forged in the crucible of rescue and redemption, connected Caleb, the parrot, and the rescued lady. Their remarkable journey marked the end of a heartwarming chapter in their lives, reminding them that even the most unexpected friendships could lead to extraordinary outcomes.